Okay.
Okay, so when the console is on already, you can turn it off and back on with the button at the back here. It's just a flip switch. So off, and then when I turn it on, it will ask if we want to resume the game. The answer is no. It'll give you a code, and the answer to that is just yes by default. So now the system is ready to go. We want to make sure we set the auto horn so that at the end of the time, it will automatically sound the horn. So to do that, there's a button here in the corner, auto horn. It says auto horn on is 1 and 2 is off. So we're going to press 1. Then it asks you, do you want a horn interval? Meaning, do you want it to sound every few minutes or however long you set? The answer is no, so we want that off, which is 2. So now you're ready to set the time. We can set the time for the warm-up, which is 5 minutes, or we can set it for a period, which is either 15, 20, whatever the set amount is. It'll be on the score sheet. So to set the main clock, there's a button here on the bottom right. It says set main clock. You press that. It'll automatically give you a default of 20 minutes, but you can reset it to any amount of time. So warm up, for example, 5 minutes. You just use the keypad to type in 5 minutes. So you'll see I'm pressing in 3 zeros to make sure the 5 is to the left of the semi, nope, that's a colon. And then after I push in the numbers, I hit enter or yes, and that'll set it for 5 minutes. So now the scoreboard will reflect 5 minutes. To start the clock, I can either use the green start button, or I can use the remote. There's a flip switch. I can flip this to start. Okay. At the end of the warm-up, the horn will automatically sound because we set the auto horn. If you needed to stop the clock for whatever reason, you can flip the switch back down to stop or use the red stop button. In between periods, you can change or set the period by using this period +1 button. So it just cycles through 0 through 9. So you can just hit the button as many times as you need to. So warm-up can be 0, and then you can move progressively through each period as needed. So if we move to, say, where am I? 3 to 4. If I move to the first period after the warm-up period, I now want to reset my main clock to, say, maybe like a 20-minute period. At any time during the period, or any time, you know, whatever time is showing here, you can always reset the main clock to any time. You don't have to wait for the time to end. You can just overwrite whatever's already in there. So that's setting time, that's setting the period, start and stop, auto horn. So next is setting the score. So there is a left panel here that says home, and a right panel here that says guests. So it corresponds to the teams. And at the top here, there's a score +1 and a score -1 button. Same here on the guest, +1, -1. You just have to hit the button once to boost the score up by 1. If you hit the button twice by accident and you set the score to 2, you just have to hit the -1 to reset it back to 1. So it's very easy just to go up and down to whatever the score truly is on each side. Okay, so same thing, okay? We're not counting shots on goals or saves for our purposes, so we can skip the second and third rows. The last row is for player penalties. So to add a player penalty, it's the bottom left button. It says player penalty. So you can just hit player penalty. It asks you for the player number, so you can say whatever the number is, 11, enter. And it'll automatically default to a 2-minute penalty, and you can hit enter. Or if you need to overwrite it with a longer penalty, you can just use the the pin pad, is it a pin pad? Number pad, to change it to whatever time and hit enter. If you need to add more penalties for the team, again, add another player penalty. And same thing, add in the number, add in the minutes, and hit enter. Okay? And then I think the last thing is how to delete a penalty. So there is a button on the right that says clear all penalties. Unless you're very sure you're clearing all penalties, we suggest you use the delete penalty button in the middle instead. So delete penalty, actually, you know what, before I do that, I'm just gonna add a second penalty to show you. If you hit delete penalty, it'll show you the first penalty first. And then if you use the arrow button, you can scroll to the second penalty. So you can actually select which penalty you want to delete and then hit yes for the penalty you want to delete. Okay? So now on the board, only my second penalty is showing. All right? And I think the last thing that I didn't cover is that to start, like for starting and stopping the clock, it's on the whistle blow. So when the ref blows the whistle for the face-off, that's when you start. And then when he blows the whistle for whatever reason, if it's penalty or new face-off, then you hit stop. And that is it. Thanks for watching.
Just be careful with the whistle when they start the play, because sometimes the refs will blow the whistle even before they drop the puck, just to get the players ready.
Oh, okay.
Right, so it's actually on the drop of the puck.
So drop of the puck same time?
No, they'll blow the whistle, they'll make sure everybody's ready.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop the puck.
Oh, okay.
But when they blow it to stop the play, then that's right away you stop it.
Okay. We will.